Hello yet again. I am back at the whiteboard in my undisclosed location where I am definitely not a hostage. And our program for this episode is going to be the Low-Fat Strongman Program. So let's go and dive into who this program is written for based off a few assumptions. First and foremost, we're going to assume that the athlete in question has about 12 weeks to dedicate to this program, maybe 8 to 12 weeks. Reason I'm coming up with that figure is that's enough time for a good, strong cut, but not so long that you're dragging it out. Maybe it runs into competition season. Then this athlete will have implement access, so they've got access to stuff like a log, stone, etc., etc., etc. The athlete in question is going to be reasonably skilled, so they're not a complete amateur. They know how to do the events, they know how to do the movements. And then last but not least, we're going to give them the weekends off. So it's going to be a Monday through Friday, or Tuesday to Saturday, whatever, but 2 consecutive days of non-structured training. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for example. And how those days will line out are as follows. Day 1 is going to be our deadlift day. The reason we start the week with the deadlift is I think this is just one of the most important anchors for strongman. Day 2 is the pressing focus day, and you could certainly flip these around if you want to press before you deadlift, either way. Day 3 is going to be a cardiovascular day. Day 4 is full body, and day 5 will be another cardiovascular day. You could also go, deadlift, cardio, press, cardio, full body if you wanted, but just for the sake of this template, this is how I have it laid out. Let's go ahead and dive in, starting with the deadlift day. So what we're going to do here is we'll start with the deadlift, and we're going to use a simple top set, back off approach. Hit somewhere between 5 to 8 reps, back it off 10 to 20%, and then do a set of 10 to 12. The reason we're doing that is this keeps them acquainted with the deadlift, has them training more in that strongman repetition range. You get a little top end work, a little more rep work, but we're not doing a ton of volume because when you're in a cut, I think it's really important to bring the volume down. That way you can recover more readily, whereas maintaining the intensity will help maintain that high end strength and give you those touches with that weight. Then we're going to go into some volume front squats. The front squat is going to have a very specific program as part of this whole template, which will be in the carousel on Instagram. But in short, your volume day, it's going to go 5x5 and work down to 3x3. Your intensity day, which is later in the week, is going to use paused front squats, but I'll dive into that more in the carousel. Then, glute ham raises, 5 sets of 6 to 8, bringing it down over the weeks. If you don't have access to a glute ham raise, you can do Nordic hamstring curls, anything like that. Then some leg curls, ab work, and then we're going to finish off with some density work for the sled. So this could be something like 10 minutes max distance, 10 minute every minute on the minute of 100-foot drags, whatever protocol you like and can find sustainable. Now the reason we're topping off with something like this is kind of a little CrossFit-y. There's a bit of that race against the clock, get your heart rate nice and elevated effect, which I find anytime you can make training more enjoyable in a calorie deficit, which isn't very enjoyable in and of itself, you're going to have better results. And if we look at what we're doing here, we're strengthening the quadriceps via the front squat. That's also going to help build the upper back. That helps improve the push press. That helps improve loading, moving events. Sled does the same thing without creating too much inroads on recovery against the low back. And then glute ham raise and leg curls builds the hamstrings to help support strong deadlifts. Then, so we move on. Second day is our pressing day here. And we're going to pick our primary push press. This could be the barbell push press, log push press, axle, whatever implement you really want to focus on. And you're going to do 6 triples in the first 3 weeks. Then in the 4th week, you wouldn't do it at all. That's your deload week. 6 doubles in the second 3-week phase. Week 8 is your deload. Then 6 singles in the last 3-week phase. Then deload with not doing it. And the idea here is you go a little heavier each week. By the end of the first 3-week wave, so that's the 6 triples in week 3, I'd like to see that top set hitting somewhere around 80%, maybe somewhere around 85% in the doubles phase, and then somewhere around 90 to 95% in the singles phase. And what we're doing here is we're just preserving the skill. So we want you to clean each rep and push press or push jerk if that's how you get the implement overhead. Then from there, what we're going to move into is our bench press variation, and we're going to run this on a 4-week wave. Week 1, we hit a heavy 8. Week 2, we hit a heavy 5. Week 3, heavy triple. And week 4, because we are deloading the overhead press, we can hit a heavy single. Because you're only hitting one heavy single, I wouldn't count that as a deload because, again, not much volume is involved. And what you might do for your variations is something like a neutral grip floor press for the first phase, then an axial floor press for the next phase, and then the axial close grip for the last little phase. And the reason why we're opting for these are very tricep dominant, and if we think about where the overhead is, where we tend to stall, right around here, that's a lot of triceps. Now the other side of a big overhead press comes from the upper back, and that's what we have here. We're going to go an 8, 12, 15 triple set, so 8 pull-ups, 12 T-bar rows, and 15 face pulls. Now you could go 5, 10, 20, try to add weight, try to add repetitions, however you want to do that. Think 3 to 4 rounds, and again, much like the sled density work, this is just kind of our CrossFit-y way of approaching bodybuilding in this context, so that way you're going to help build and reinforce that upper back for strong deads, strong presses, strong loading, and keeping position under moving events. Now, you've had 2 very hard training days. Let's get some cardio in. We're going to use the 20-15-10 approach here. So pick 3 cardio pieces you like, 20 minutes on the recumbent bike, 15 minutes on an elliptical, 10 minutes on the stair climber, for example, mix and match machines. And that's going to get you 45 minutes of cardio. Then from there, I'd like to throw in some restorative work here, something like some reverse hypers, powwow raises or mace swings, cable crunches, bird dogs, anything like that that's just going to help you feel a little bit better, recover from these 2 heavy days of training. That way we can move into day 4, which is our full body day. What we're going to start with here is our push press, and on this day, I'd prefer to take the implement from the rack rather than cleaning it. Week 1, 5x5, week 2, 6x4, week 3, 8 triples, and then week 4, 4 triples, so we're cutting that volume in half, something like 60, 65, 70, 75%, add 5, 10 pounds each successful 4-week wave. Basic step loading approach here. It'll complement the heavier push press day earlier in the week quite nicely. Then, our paused front squat day. So notice that it's a paused front squat. So you're going to hold the bottom position of that front squat for a 3 count. And how it's going to work is it'll start with 3 singles one week, move to 3 doubles the following week, and it'll add a little weight as you progress through the program. Again, the carousel is going to dive into that a little bit deeper. Then we're going to move into an incline press variation using a top set back off approach like we did for the deadlift. So you hit your heavy 5 to 8, then 1 to 2 sets of 10 to 12 thereafter. For the first wave, you might use a 30-degree dumbbell press. Second wave, a 60-degree dumbbell press. And then the third wave, you might do a standing shoulder press. Then, after that, we're going to move into an event every minute on the minute. Could be 10 singles of loading the stone over the bar via one motion, sandbag to shoulder, 10-minute EMOM of 60-foot farmer's walk, whatever you like, just getting those touches. You want to think that 60 to 70% range. You're not trying to build your strength with the events, you're just trying to maintain skill during this cut. Then after that, 4 sets of 25 each of what I like is a fat bar curl or an axle curl and tricep press downs. Just pump up those arms really good, feels nice. I find it helps mentally within the cut, that way it doesn't feel like you're shrinking quite as much. Then day number 5, we can do the 20-15-10 cardio protocol again, or if you are really focused on strongman, some sort of program to help improve your 1 kilometer row time would slot in really nicely here. Either way, this is going to get you quite a bit of cardiovascular work and you're still hitting all your main static strength movements to help develop as a strongman. So this would be really good to run when you're trying to move down a weight class, maybe you just finished a long competitive season and you want to take some time away from the ultra heavy stuff. Either way, I find this would be a very useful way to train. This honestly isn't too far removed from what I'm doing right now. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to hit me in the comments section. And as always, you'll find the program proper for the full carousel and infographic on amplified.training on Instagram. And until next time, hope you found this useful, and I'll catch you in the next video.